It's a mystery that's haunted Hollywood for decades. What really happened to actress Natalie Wood the night of her death? Andrea Isom's here now with new details.
The case reopened just a few years ago, and today, in a brand new interview, Natalie's sister is not holding back about what she thinks happened that dark night off the coast of California. The tragic death of Natalie Wood, one of Hollywood's darkest and most enduring mysteries, rages on. 34 years after the superstar was found floating in the murky waters off Catalina Island. The legendary actress starred in such classic films as West Side Story and Splendor in the Grass, and was a loving mother to her 3 beautiful girls. But to this day, rumors continue to swirl about the 43-year-old's baffling death. Now, Crime Watch Daily sits down with Natalie's sister, Lana Wood, who says there is one person who knows exactly what happened.
I think RJ was absolutely involved in her drowning.
RJ is Robert Wagner, Natalie's handsome screen idol husband, who was allegedly one of the last people to see his wife alive.
I don't think he meant to do it. This was not a plan. This was not premeditated. Do I think that somebody could have done something and that somebody was more involved? Absolutely. I think he made a bad decision based upon the passion of the moment.
On that fateful night, Natalie and RJ on their yacht, the Splendor, partying with actor Christopher Walken. It was November 29th, 1981, around 11 p.m., when tragedy struck.
What do you think he did? Honestly, what do you think happened?
What I was told as a fact is they were having a knockdown, drag-out fight. Physical. In her stateroom.
Allegedly fueled by heavy drinking and jealousy. The reported cause of that fight was Wagner's rage over Walken's on- and off-screen chemistry with his wife.
Did you ever witness any issue, problem, violence, tumultuousness between the two?
Sarcasm, bickering. They were going through a very, very rough time.
In a Vanity Fair magazine interview, Dennis DeVerne, the captain of the Splendor, says he heard the yelling and went to Natalie's stateroom to see what was going on.
Dennis DeVerne went to the door and knocked on the door, and that a very disheveled RJ said, "It's good. Go away. I'm dealing with her. Shut the door."
Author Marty Rulli has been friends with Dennis for 30 years and says that after being less than forthcoming with police, he eventually came clean about his account of what happened that night. An account that formed the basis for their book, Goodbye Natalie, Goodbye Splendor.
Dennis decided it was time to go to the deck. He went down, and Robert Wagner was at the door of the rear deck that leads to the swim step. And he was very nervous, disheveled, sweaty, red-faced, and he told Dennis, "Natalie's missing. Go look for her. Search the boat." So he did. He went and searched the boat, but she was not there. He met up with Wagner in the wheelhouse, and Wagner told him the dinghy was gone too. Dennis reached for the searchlight. He reached for the radio. He wanted to call for help immediately. And Wagner said, "No, we'll wait for her to return."
According to the police report, Wagner thought Wood had gone ashore and was at a bar. And at 1:30 a.m., he called the bar looking for her. But with no sign of his wife, that's when he radioed for help. Marty says Dennis followed Wagner's orders. He didn't want to cross his boss. So according to Dennis, they waited about 2 hours to report Natalie's disappearance. 6 hours later, the Coast Guard is on the scene, and they find Natalie's body floating face down in an inlet a mile away from the yacht. And according to the medical examiner's report, she was wearing a flannel nightgown, blue wool socks, and had multiple bruising.
Natalie's body was found with over 24 bruises on it and a facial abrasion, and they came up with some bogus theory that she was clinging to a dinghy and acquired these bruises.
To this day, the truth behind that fatal fall is cloaked in a veil of darkness.
There's something sinister about her death, and definitely foul play was involved. There's a face to this investigation, and it belongs to Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner has never been charged in the death of his wife and maintains his innocence. But the big question, How did Natalie, whose fear of deep, dark water was legendary, wind up in the cold Pacific Ocean in the middle of the night?
Natalie Wood was deathly afraid of water. It goes back to a lifelong fear. Her mother supposedly met up with a gypsy before Natalie was born who predicted dark water death. She would not get into water. She never touched it.
When sheriff's investigators arrive on scene, Lana claims, instead of questioning Wagner, they gave him the white glove celebrity treatment.
Lana, what do you think about the police and the investigation? How do you think they've handled this case?
It was absolutely laughable. I was told verbatim that when they came on board the Splendor, that all they said to RJ was, "We're sorry for your loss, Mr. Wagner." That was it? That was it?
Vanity Fair reports that Detective Razier, who arrived on scene at 8:30 that morning, believes the theory that Wood slipped while trying to reattach the dinghy to the yacht. However, he says he cannot confirm exactly what happened.
There's celebrity justice and there's everyday justice. Detective Razier asked Robert Wagner a few basic questions and told him to go home and grieve. That is not an investigation.
Christopher Walken cooperated with police, giving details of the crucial hours before the tragedy, an account that reportedly conflicts with Wagner's version of events.
What do you think he knows?
I don't believe he knows anything. I really don't.
Lana says the Wagner family has stonewalled her. The bricks laid as Natalie was laid to rest.
After the funeral, he was upstairs in their bedroom, and he was sitting on the edge of the bed. And I said, "RJ, what happened? What the hell happened?" And he said, "It was an accident." And then someone came and grabbed me by the arm and said, "Leave him alone."
The coroner's report called it an accidental death. Case closed. But in November of 2011, the 30th anniversary of Natalie Wood's death, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened its investigation after Marty's book came out, where Dennis admits he withheld details from police.
Recently, we have received information which we felt was substantial, enough to make us take another look at this case.
9 months later, the chief medical examiner amended Wood's death certificate, changing the cause from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors.
Is Robert Wagner a suspect?
No.
Crime Watch Daily reached out to Robert Wagner, but our calls were not returned. And Wagner's attorney said they have no comment. However, in 2013, his attorney gave the following statement to the Los Angeles Times. Quote, "After 30 years, neither Mr. Wagner nor his daughters have any new information to add to this latest investigation, which was unfortunately prompted by those seeking to exploit and sensationalize the 30th anniversary of the death of his wife and their mother." Lana says, since Natalie's death, the Wagner family has cut all ties with her, a reality that breaks her heart as much as the loss of her big sister.
Lana, when you say you lost your friends, why?
Well, evidently camps formed, and I truthfully did not realize that I would no longer be a part of RJ's life and her kids' lives. I didn't know that, so I was sort of taken aback. I was rather stunned and didn't know what to think of it. And I think it's very sad that people have decided their sides, because they're not. It's all the side of loving Natalie. That's all.